Hello, today's topic is FM systems. What in the world are they and what do they do? Hi, this is Heather Hall from the Kentucky School for the Deaf. I'm an outreach consultant for the Kentucky Valley Educational Cooperative. What are FM systems? FM amplification systems transmit the teacher's voice directly into the student at a consistent level, ensuring that the teacher's voice is heard above the level of background noise, regardless of the teacher's distance from the student. Why do you need one? The hearing aids that your student wears doesn't fix the hearing loss. Hearing aids amplify the noises that are around the wearer, which helps them the chance that they will hear. This includes not only voices, but all environmental noises. This includes the air and heating units, students moving around in their desk, and other noises. So it's very hard for these students to kind of weed out what is important information being said and all the background noise going around them. That is why you need to use the FM system in the classroom. As stated earlier, background noise is a problem for those students with hearing losses because they must block out all the background noises to figure out what someone is saying. Think of it this way. You're trying to hear what someone's saying 2 rows back in the middle of a rock concert. It would be hard to filter out the other noise around you to hear that person's voice. The FM system helps filter out the background noise, helping the wearer hear the speaker more clearly. How do they work? Actually, FM systems have two components. They have a transmitter and a receiver. We'll go into more details with this through the next couple of slides. Transmitter. The transmitter is worn by the speaker. It has a microphone attached to a box. Think of it this way. It's a radio station and you're the disc jockey. The student is wearing the receiver, and this is what the student wears. Think of it this way. The receivers are the radio, which allows them to listen to what you're broadcasting on your transmitter. Attaching FM systems to hearing aids. The receiver generally attaches to the bottom of the hearing aid, either directly or with the use of a thing called an auditory shoe attachment. Below are some pictures of what they look like. Here are some teacher tips for using the FM system. Speak in a normal tone of voice. Yelling doesn't make it clearer, only more loud and sometimes more mumbled. Encourage speakers for assemblies to wear the microphone because generally these are in the gym and are not the best setting for students to hear anyway. For in-class discussions, pass around the transmitter to the speaker, or if working in a small group, place it in a central location, for example, in the middle of the table. You should encourage your students to take responsibility for the daily charging of the equipment as appropriate. If they're old enough, then they need to know that it's their responsibility to make sure the thing gets plugged in and charged so that it can be ready to use the next day. Either you or another adult will have to be sure to check and make sure that it's working every morning. This is a part of the school's responsibility to ensure that the student is getting maximum benefit out of the FM system. It's also necessary to have a relative supply of batteries available. The FM system won't work if the hearing aids are not going, and they need those batteries in order for that to happen. Here are some troubleshooting tips for you, especially around certain topics. If the volume drops, here are some things to try. Check and make sure that the battery is not low, and if it is low, replace it. Sometimes the sound outlet is blocked with earwax, so you should have some tools in your hearing aid kit to clean out that earwax so that make sure that it's working properly. A blocked microphone inlet. This is something you can't take care of and should consult your hearing care professional. Check to make sure the volume control button is in the right place. Most of the newer aids lock this, but some still may have the ability to turn it up and down. If the kid fools with it and turns it down, then simply turn it back up. Here's some troubleshooting tips if you're hearing whistling coming from the ear. This probably means that the instrument is not correctly inserted into the ear, so you may have to jiggle it around and make sure it's a good snug fit. The instrument is in the wrong ear. Sometimes kids pull them and pull them out, and then they get switched and put in the wrong ear. Just switch ears and make sure that it's a snug fit. Sometimes kids fool with it, or sometimes the material shrinks a little bit, so it can be loose fitting. If it's loose fitting and the ear mold no longer snugly fits, then they probably need to make a trip to the audiologist to have a new ear mold made. And make sure the volume is at the correct setting. Sometimes if it's cranked up too loud, it will give that feedback whistle. Also, check the tubing in the hearing aid to see if there's a crack or hole. This too will make the whistling sound. Our last area of troubleshooting we're going to look at is that the instrument simply isn't working. There's no battery in it, then put one in. If the battery compartment is not closed, make sure it's shut tight. Sometimes the battery is dirty, so clean the battery surface. If the battery is dead, replace it or recharge it. And make sure that the system is turned on. If you can't get anything to work, it's probably best to call the audiologist. Finally, these are some tips for me. Take off or turn off the system if you don't want the student to hear a private conversation. For example, you're disciplining another student out in the hallway, or you're having a conversation with other staff members. And this may sound funny, but it's very important. If you take a trip to the bathroom, make sure you turn it off. Remember, the more you use it, the more accustomed you'll become to using it, and it won't be such a hassle. Don't be afraid of the technology. You'll see the benefits in your students' performance. And after all, that's what we all want. Thank you.